Then just the other thing I wanted to hit on before we take off is big recruiting weekend, a lot of prospects, a lot of commits, candidates at the game, how we think that have we heard anything out of anyone since the game to make us think one way or the other about the impact of this game?
Yeah, a lot of guys were. This is what most of the recruits were looking for. Mike Norvell has been able to sell, and basically what Florida and Miami are doing right now are doing a good job of selling the potential. Mike has been selling potential for 2 years, but you haven't seen it. So now you're starting to see what a Mike Norvell run offense should look like. You can visualize yourself in that. And Hykeem Williams was down in the boot, had a great time. Fans did a really, really good job of recognizing him, making sure that he felt welcome and that he was going to be that guy. I think I feel very strongly and confident on September 23rd that he will commit to the good guys, as well as Blake. Is it Blake Nicholson? Logan, is that the linebacker?
Yep.
I think it's great to see Kalen and Bethune both playing to the level in which they're playing as fast as they're playing. That makes a guy like Blake want to be able to come in and you feel like if those guys keep playing the way they're playing, they're out of here. And I have a chance to come in as a true freshman and possibly be able to make some bones. So I think those are two dominoes that will drop. I think I love the way Coach Atkins maneuvers when it comes to his recruiting. I remember talking to him. He's only taken 2 to 3 guys this year. So, I know there's rumblings of a potential flip, but there's also rumblings of us potentially getting a higher rated guy. So it's very much so just like you're either going to get on board or you're not, because I'll find somebody to replace you. So I've always been stuck on Florida State possibly having, I think, a top 12 class when I think 12 is where we'll finish at. Considering I think the 24 and 25 cycles are going to be really where Mike continues to progress and make his bones if he can build this foundation this year.
I liked how Mike Norvell, this man's always thinking about plans C, D, E, and F. And it goes on the recruiting trail too. I mean, he was lining up explosive plays for wide receivers right in front of 5-star Hykeem Williams and Jalen Brown. I mean, when you're doing that on a national stage and then you come away with the win, you generated a lot of momentum. And I think that's what Hykeem Williams is really intrigued by because they already got the relationships. I mean, that kid has spent a lot of time with his staff, but for you to show it on national television that, hey, some of our guys are having some drops too. You have immediate playing time, bud. Come on in. Let's put you in garnet and gold and let you be our star wide receiver for me when I line up those explosive plays down the field when I really need you, just kind of how they did with Ontario Wilson. Let you be that guy for us moving forward for the next 2 to 3 years. Let's work that out somehow. So I think Hykeem Williams and Florida State are in a great spot there. We'll see if anything changes. There's always the high after a game like that, James. There's always that high, and then things can sometimes dwindle down. But I think Florida State's in a really solid spot there with him, and I think Blake Nicholson has kind of been waiting and just going as far as he can of waiting. But I think it's, with how Randy Shannon, those linebackers I've looked at the last 2 weeks, it's just time to go ahead and send it in, and go ahead and pick Florida State. I think they're in a great spot there too for a really talented linebacker off the West Coast. That'd be a really big snag for Randy Shannon and a floor in that defense. And I wanted to go back to one thing, and there's one thing about Rod Kearney going around, and there's this fan base amazes me sometimes. Where Florida State's 2-0, there should be some optimism, but still going after and talking some smack about a really highly rated offensive lineman that you would kill to have in this class. I don't understand it. Like, seeing Rod Kearney compete in person is extremely impressive. A guy that you would love to see Coach Atkins be able to forge into something special. Let's cool it on that. I think Florida State's still in a he's committed, but I don't think you're losing him. They have a really close relationship. I think it's just fans making up stupid, what. But let's make sure to I understand there's Chester out there, another really talented offensive lineman, but
bring them in. I think if you can get 3 guys like that are young and talented, and maybe you find 1 or 2 in the portal if you have the scholarships to do it, it's great. I think we stand in very good. We're in pretty good standards from what I understand with Jordan Hall. another kid from Jacksonville, and then the 4-star running back Mitchell from out of Middleburg High School. I actually like him. I like him better than and even I got to see. I think it's Samuels. I had to see him with him as Fleming Island Eagles against. We played them about I think week 9 here at Jacksonville. But I think it's gonna be some good potential and talent. Even with Kearney and even if we get Jordan Hall from out of Jacksonville, those are guys that may or may not they may play depending on how they work in the spring. But like I get a chance to see like he plays for Orange Park High School, so it's right around the corner from where I live at, and they're defeated. The high school team's not very good. He looks way better than what somebody from that high school should look like. So that's why I'm like, yo, you got to get a guy like that. But I think from a technical standpoint, he's probably just not there. But he is a very loyal kid. Trust me, he's a kid we wanted at Mandarin High School. I promise you that much. He's also a kid that's had like I want to say 3 head coaches since he's been at Orange Park, and he's never transferred. Whereas most kids, I know kids in this area who transferred to 4 high schools in 4 years. So that speaks a lot. But at the end of the day, the kid made a great quote. Let me enjoy the recruiting process and leave me alone. And I think that's fair. If the kid wants to come, he comes. If he doesn't, as long as his interests don't interfere with our best interests, God bless. But I would love to have him in Garden and Gold.
It all came from social media stuff going on and removing pictures and whatnot. I'm like, goodness gracious, do fans go on every recruit's account and check them daily, if not hourly? I wonder sometimes if people have hobbies, James. I wonder if people have hobbies, things to do. At least go out, get some sun, lay out off your phone for an hour and relax. These are 16, 17-year-old kids. If he removes some pictures and makes away some stuff in the damn Instagram bio, just chill out.
You sound like me, Logan. When I hear stuff like that, I tell people, you could probably, I don't know, better your life in some way. Read a book, probably have a house or room or 2 in the house that need painted. Learn a trade, get outside, get some exercise, do something.
We've got to find something in this FSU fan base because they decide to freak each other out. Then it makes it so then a commit has to put out a quote. We went through it all with the Chris Parson commitment, but now we're going to do it against Rod Kearney. We're just going to continue to do it. Just leave it alone. Go back and watch the LSU game. Go back and watch something. College football is back on. There's got to be some kind of football to watch. Thank God NFL is back on tomorrow night because at least there will be football for 5 days out of the week, 4 days, whatever it is.